Before we get started, Advanced GG is selling my very own shaker. It is pretty boring in terms of a logo because I legit don't have a logo yet, even though I have over 150,000 subs. But if you want to check out the shaker and support the channel, it would mean a lot. And yeah, thank you. Hey, what's going on, guys? WALLAH here. In today's video, I'm going to be showing off what I'll be using in Trials of Osiris in terms of my subclass, what types of weapons I'll be using, and also kind of like my build, even though it does not look that great at the moment, and just kind of show you guys what's going to be the meta, in my opinion. After playing a lot of 3v3 survival, I kind of have an idea on what's going to be really strong, and I think you guys can guess as well. We can start off with the Night Stalker build itself. It's pretty damn simple, in my opinion, on terms of what's the strongest, and starting off, obviously, we have Gambler's Dodge still, Strafe Jump, Snare Bomb, you can't change that, and Axion Bolts. I do think Axions are probably the strongest at the moment, and I think Suppressor Grenades are a close second. For Trials, Supers aren't too crazy at the moment, so I don't really see them being as valuable, especially since they only suppress you for 5 seconds now. If you hit a suppressor on someone that's not in a Super, it's not really the end of the world for them. Axion Bolts right now are very strong. You also have a fragment that can make them stronger, we'll go into in a bit, but people do have to stop doing what they're doing to either run away from it, shoot it, or slide under it. They have to legit stop what they're doing to shoot it, so it's a very, very strong grenade in terms of making people turn around, run away, or just shoot it. In terms of the aspects, at the moment we only have 3. You have the Vanishing Step, you dodge, you go invisible, pretty damn simple. And then you also have Trapper's Ambush. Activate Quickfall to spend your melee charge and dive to the ground. We all know what it does at the moment, but the best thing about it right now is you can make your team invis, and you actually go invis yourself for longer if you use this. This gives you 2 ways of going invisible, one dodging and one slamming your grenade, or just popping your snare bomb normally. It'll both make you go invis, and it's very, very strong compared to the Stylus Executioner. I don't think it's the worst thing ever, but going invis with your smoke bomb is definitely very, very valuable. Vanishing Step makes you go invis for about 6 to 7 seconds, and the Trapper's Ambush gives you 9 seconds of invisibility if you slam it downwards. That's why it's so good. Now, for the fragments, we have Echo of Remnants. This is very, very strong if you're using Axion grenades, or any of the nades listed there. If you decide to use something like Suppressor Grenade, you can actually use something else. I would probably suggest using Echo of Dilation if you're not going to use it. That's because it gives you 10 mobility and 10 intellect. Yeah, you get a nice radar resolution when you crouch, but who cares about that? No one really cares. It's just mainly for the stats you get. Next, we have Echo of Persistence. This is very, very strong if you're going invisible for obvious reasons. It increases your duration, and you actually don't need to run any exotics anymore to increase the duration for your invis. Although you can, there's no need anymore. Like I said, you get 9 seconds of invisibility without an exotic, which is extremely strong. Echo of Leeching, for obvious reasons. You get a melee kill, you get your health back. It's pretty damn awesome, and I highly suggest everyone use this no matter what class you're on. Now, there are other fragments we haven't unlocked yet, but for this very moment in time, these are the best 3 in my opinion, and I'm going to be rocking these 100% for Trials. The last part here is the Super. I think the Supers are all trash, but Spectral Blades just makes the most sense. So I guess you can bait yourself, which is nice. Mobius Quiver isn't the worst thing in the world. Normal Shadow Shot is pretty trash. You can't one-shot with it anymore. So most people would probably gravitate towards Spectral Blades, but you do get your Super very quickly with the tethers. So if you want to think about that, it's really up to you. Now, in terms of weapons, there's a few options, in my opinion, that are going to be very strong. DMT is still going to be one of the great weapons to use, especially with Vorpal weapons. It's still very, very viable, although it's not as oppressive at the moment. The second best option for me is actually using a Pulse Rifle. It doesn't have to be Stars and Shadow, but at this very moment in time, this is my favorite loadout to use in the Crucible. Wastelander and a Stars and Shadow, and I know a lot of people like Messenger more than Stars and Shadow, so slap a Messenger on if you have it and use your favorite shotgun with it. But at the moment, I think the Wastelander is the best shotgun in the game, and I do enjoy using Stars of Shadow because it is very, very easy to shoot with. And I'm only missing 1 perk of a god roll. If I had something else besides Dragonfly, this would be the 5 out of 5 roll. A Pulse Rifle and a shotgun is always very, very nice, especially, again, since they did nerf Dead Man's Tail, it's not as annoying to battle anymore, especially if you're using another long-range weapon. Pulse Rifles are very strong. I would say the meta hasn't changed much at all in terms of weapons. You still got the Thorn CQC Shotgun Classic combo. This is one of my favorites again as well. But the one thing that did change is you could throw Lumina in the equation now, which isn't terrible now. I will admit it's not the best hand cannon still, but For trials, if you manage to get some noble rounds, you get 2 noble rounds per kill. You could slap on a heavy hitting sniper and get some nice one-shot body shot kills. I've been enjoying this, but I don't think it's your best option. Because of the invisibility meta at this very moment in time, submachine guns are very viable. If anything, they're the most viable they've ever been, because you can get really close to people now without them noticing, and you can beam them extremely fast. I would not suggest using a submachine gun unless you have one of these two, either Multi-Mach or the Sharier's Wrath, because the other SMGs just really are not up to par. And one last thing, I actually forgot about this, but if you're going to be going invisible, you want to have a rapid fire fusion on hand if you have it. You're going to be able to go out of invis and shoot someone instantly without them being able to react to it. It's very strong to use. This isn't the best rapid fire fusion. This is just an example. If you have a god roll, obviously use it. And those are my suggested loadouts. You could kind of change a few things here and there. Obviously, you could use something like Ace of Spades instead of Thorn. You could use something like Palindrome instead of the Crisis Inverted, if that's what you're feeling. Just kind of the regular stuff, though. I mean, the weapons really have not changed too much. And heavy weapons, you use whatever you want. Now, my actual build itself, you can see I only have 80 recovery, which kind of blows ass. This is not my favorite ever. I will admit, I do like having 100 recovery or even 90, but I do lose some mobility with this build I had. Like I said, Echo of Persistence removes 10 mobility, so I had to sacrifice some recovery for some more mobility, but this is just because my build isn't that great. I would highly suggest using 100 mobility and 100 recovery if possible. You can tank on the other stats. It's not really important to have any strength, not really important to have too much resilience. Always focus on 100 mobility and 100 recovery when it comes to hunters, because you do want to have your dodge up as much as possible and you do want to regen as much as you can. In terms of my armor mods, nothing too much has changed. I used the very basic stuff: shotgun targeting, pulse targeting. For those who are using hand cannons in Trials of Osiris, make sure you remember there is an artifact mod for hand cannon targeting, which only takes 1. Normally it's 5, so make sure you buy this on the artifact mod. I also have taking charge on my gauntlets with pulse rifle reloader, fastball. I would highly suggest using fastball if you don't already. It makes your grenades a lot better. I also have shotgun unflinching. I personally don't use unflinchings for my primary weapons because I feel like it doesn't really do too much, and also I need to slot on powerful friends. This is where the awkward part comes in. My boots have a resilience boost on it because I have to slot quick charge, and the reason I don't have quick charge on my hunter cloak is because I need to use utility kickstart, which is a stasis mod. I would highly suggest using utility kickstart, and the reason is because it gives you free class energy every time you use your class ability, and it's not a crazy amount, but it's still 1 or 2 seconds off of your cooldown, which is huge. And you do notice it when you use it. I promise. I'm not bullshitting you or anything. If you use this and take it off, you will find yourself trying to dodge when you don't have it because you have to wait an extra second or two, which is pretty big for hunters. So again, please use utility kickstart if you have not tried it already. And for my stompies, I know some people were probably suggesting maybe using the graviton forfeit or even the weird chest piece. I don't even know how to pronounce it. The chest piece that gives you extra smoke bombs. I don't even have it unlocked. This is very strong because you get basically unlimited smoke charges, but there's no need for it unless you really want to cheese the invisibility, which is a good idea, I will admit. The reason why I don't think you need Graviton Forfeit is because you already get 9 seconds of invis, so if you could keep Stompies on top of that, why not? Screw it. But if you don't really care about Stompies, slap on that chest piece or slap Graviton Forfeit and you will have a good time 100%. And the reason I have a resilience mod and quick charge is because I can't slot anything else if I have quick charge on, and quick charge is very important if you're using shotguns because it'll give you free 25 handling. And that's my build. This is what I'll be rocking. This is my main loadout. Again, a Stars and Shadow and Wastelander. I do think this is the best shotgun in the game at the moment in terms of one-shot capability for a lightweight. It's the most consistent. If you don't have it already, make sure you grind for it. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you guys again for watching. And like always, I'll see you in the next one. Later.